न कर्तृत्वं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसंयोगम् स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. So this yogi has good understanding. What does he understand? Neither kartritvam, the agency, nor actions, na karmani, lokasya srijati prabhu, does the Lord create for the world. It's not the world. It's not the Lord who has created kartritva and karma. Then who is the creator? Swabhavastu pravartate. Na karma phala sanyogam. Not even he is the giver of the fruits. Like usually, the devotees will say, he is the karma phala data, whatever he gives is acceptable to me. Here the Bhagavad Geeta rules it out. Oh my God, we thought Sri Krishna is the giver of the fruit, and now Sri Krishna says that it is not the Prabhu, it is not the Vibhu who does all that. So, are there two Sri Krishnas? One the giver of the fruit and the other one who is saying that I am not the giver. He doesn't say I am not the giver. He says Prabhu is not the giver. Hey Prabhu, why do you say that you are not the giver? Then who is the giver? Who gave me kartritva, the doership or the agency of doing? Who created all this chaos in which I have to work? And then ultimately, who gives me the fruits? When it is good fruits, then we claim, no, it is my deed. It brings fruits. Simple. But something goes wrong and you say, I accept. Whatever he gives, I accept. Then suddenly he becomes the giver. Do you mean to say that all good things we will grab on our own and all bad things only Bhagavan is sitting there to give us? This devotee has a very finicky mind. So whenever something goes wrong, he attributes it to God conveniently. Why? And then he says, oh, he knows everything. He loves me, so it's okay if I condemn him. He is the troubleshooter. He only gave me these fruits. He only gave me these wretched children. The children went haywire because of my wrong upbringing. Now I will blame the God for him. For that, all this we do. Here clearly Bhagavan says there are two addresses, Prabhu and Vibhu. Here Bhagavan says, na kartritvam na karmani lokasya srijati Prabhu. Prabhu, the Lord, the one who's got the lordship, who's got the power, who's holding the power. So Bhagavan says that neither agency nor actions does the Lord create for the world, nor even the karma phala sanyoga, the union with the fruits of actions. They all come naturally. Swabhavastu pravartate. All this is happening due to Swabhava. Swarupa has nothing to do with it. Swarupa is the Lord. Swabhava is the doer. What comes under Swabhava? Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Ego, the consciousness conditioned by Sattva, Rajas and Tamas is called as ego. Ego is the doer. So ego is bringing the fruits as per the deeds. So what is the role of Lord then in this? Right? So somebody will say, oh, therefore I don't believe in God. Why? Because God has no role to play in this. If it is my ego attached to my tendencies, doing something and bringing fruits, where does the question of Bhagavan come into it? So now let us take this simple example of electricity. Electricity is providing its energy to all sorts of equipments, be them cooling or heating or lighting or fanning. So the objects that are being activated by the energy of electricity cannot be activated without electricity. But therefore, can the faults of these objects or equipments be attributed to the electricity? If something goes wrong to the fan or the cooler or the heater or whatever, or your mixie or your, what is that, electric oven or whatever, who is to be blamed? The electricity or the equipment? The equipment. This equipment is this egocentric being which cannot function without the electricity, all right. At the same time, electricity cannot be blamed for anything. And then the connectivity is important. If the equipment is disconnected from the electricity and therefore it is not functioning, again we cannot blame the electricity. So our disconnectivity with the Supreme, because of which we are suffering or in ignorance, cannot be blamed. Therefore we cannot blame the Supreme for it. That why doesn't the Supreme get connected to me? An equipment has to get connected to the electricity, the Supreme, for all the energy and power. Now what I do with it will depend upon this equipment of the mind intellect. The body is just the slave to the mind and this mind intellect equipment. The body has no independent ability to act. Body is activated by the mind intellect equipment. So therefore it is the perceiver, feeler, thinker I which needs to be connected, well connected with the divine power, with awareness. Anyway it is activated by the divine, but being unaware of the divinity, it enters into negativities. I have to change the Swabhava. Swabhava is subject to change anyway. Swarupa is always changeless. Now since it is subject to change, why not change for better? It's only to your wife that you'll say you will never change. The rest of the world you have your own experience that it keeps changing. You add one more thing. You will never change for better. At least add that. Change anyway is inevitable, no? Swabhava. So what is Swabhava made up of? The three gunas. So it all depends on that. What sort of kartritva I will have, what sort of karma I will do, what sort of attachment to my deeds, the fruits of my deeds will I have, will all depend on my Swabhava. Satvik, less. Rajasic, more. Tamasic, extreme attachment. So let me not taint my beautiful sattvic subtle body of mind intellect equipment with tamasic guna. It is my privilege to have a sattvic mind intellect equipment. And why should I taint it with rajas or tamas then? this will change my life. Hmm? If I am aware of the quality of my mind intellect equipment, and if I am putting effort to change it for better, then it will change my life.